Hey guys, here's Klaus, and I'm here to talk to you about the teaser trailer that was released a few days ago. So if you didn't watch it yet, please watch before seeing this video. I'm going to talk to you about some stuff, like stuff that you may or may not saw on the trailer, and some theories of, the season. Maybe you're going to think they don't make sense, but for me, they do because they are my theories. So let's do it. One of the first scenes we see is Five waiting for a subway train. Before they released the trailer, I was connecting some stuff and I thought maybe a subway is going to be the center of the season, like the hotel was in the third season. Why? If you remember, the first poster that was released was a subway map, basically. And seeing the names on it, the titles on it, I think it's connected with the fact that those are timelines. So the lines of the subway represents the timelines. Then we got the poster for the teaser trailer, which is this one. And you can see it's like a subway sign, at least for me. There is Ben's tentacles, and in the top right, there is the marigold. For those who doesn't know, the marigold is basically the source of their powers. If you can't recall, in the first season, we see Reggie releasing some kind of fireflies while the world is ending. So this is called marigold. Also, they speak about this marigold on season 3 because they need the marigold to make the machine work, the machine that is inside the hotel in the sea.
The particles inside their bodies are the only things that fuel the machine.
Then we see Victor. It seems like he's working in a bar, which makes sense with some theories that was going around before the trailer. I don't know if you remember, but each character got a poster for the 4th season. And under the post, you can see a group of emojis. And I already posted on TikTok and Instagram what I think those mean. You can check it out if you want after, but the 4th emoji for Victor is a beer cup, which makes sense because the 4th emoji represents the 4th season for each character. So we have Victor working a bar. Then we see Allison with probably Claire. Then after that, we see Ben being released, as it seems. Is this a prison? Is he visiting someone? It makes sense because in the first poster we see of the subway map, there is Ben's released, year unknown. A little Easter egg, maybe, a little hint. So we don't know if it's going to be this year, or if it's going to be in the past, or maybe in the future, because the year is unknown. And as far as we could see in the trailer, time travel is going to happen. Then we see Diego with his daughter, which is super cute. Then we see Luther. Here I have a weird, maybe crazy theory. If you look closer, the first thing you're going to think is that, is Luther going to space again? Is he going to the moon? Because he's putting the astronaut outfit. But if you look closer, this outfit is a little off, don't you think? Like, it looks more like a costume in comparison with the first outfit of astronaut that he has in the first season. It's very different. It looks way lower. So I think it's a costume. It's not actually an astronaut outfit. Maybe I'm wrong, but then there is the crazy theory. I think Luther is going to be a dancer, or maybe even a stripper. Why? Why Luther? Because in his poster, the last emoji we see is a little guy dancing. So he's going to be a dancer? Is he going to be a stripper known as a space boy? Or he's going to be a party animator? Who knows? I don't. I think he's going to be a stripper. Come on, think with me. Luther doesn't have the gorilla, body anymore. He has, his beautiful body. And if I was him, I would take advantage of it to earn, a little extra money, So maybe that's it. And this theory gets stronger because of a little detail that I'm going to show you in the future. Then there's me. I saw some people saying that I'm floating. Maybe I am, but it seems like I'm upside down by the, my overcoat. And it seems like I'm tied up upside down. Not my hands, but my feet. Which make me think that maybe I was caught. Which make me think I was caught and they tied my feet upside down for some reason. And if it's closer to the comics, maybe they're going to give us an Easter egg and they are going to put some shoes on my feet, which is going to cancel my powers. So I can't, summon, I can't do much. So maybe in this scene, I already have my powers back and they discover with the upgrade of my powers, I'm going to get there, they discover that putting some shoes now cancel my powers. Maybe that's it, maybe not. Then a few scenes after, we see everybody entering in a van. We know already this van is called Wanda. I don't know how they are going to pronounce it. Because, so if I'm not mistaken, Steve Blackman gave an interview saying about this. This is Diego's van and it's called Wanda. So Diego is rushing everybody to enter. And if you pay attention, I saw two things. I know one of them most of you already saw, which is me with gloves and getting a paper bag to breathe inside, breathe in and breathe out, which means I'm having anxiety. And as my theory that came out with this photo way before the trailer, I think I'm a germaphobe and hypochondriac. Yes. Why? Because, well, I'm mortal now and I don't know how to work without my powers, basically. So I'm afraid to die, because before I wasn't afraid because I could, I died and I just came back as much as I wanted. Now I'm not certain about it. I can't come back. I can't leave. So I think it's going to hurt my security, basically. I'm going to be very insecure and I'm going to turn into a germaphobe, hypochondriac, and anxiety ball. So this is the thing that most of you already saw, because when we enter in the van, you can see that I'm breathing very much in the paper bag. The other thing that I watched this, are you seeing this? The way Ben walk back after Diego opens the door and all. For me, it looks like he's a little drunk, by the body language. Is Ben going to turn into a alcoholic? Like me? Like I was before? Maybe. It looks like, at least, which makes sense with why he's saying this.
Hell yes! Let's go kill this bitch!
This is a rescue mission.
Right.
That's just something I paid attention about. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm not. We're going to find out. Oh, and I don't even need to talk about Lila and Five fighting for the seat on the front, right?
Hey, out the way. Get in!
I'm going in the front!
Everyone in!
Why are you yelling?
also see Allison saying it's a rescue mission. Who they are going to rescue? I don't know, Raymond? They're going to rescue Claire? Are they going to rescue, I don't know, Sloane? Maybe? I don't know. What do you think? Then we see Lila in 5 in the subway, and Lila is, just touching, it looks like a map. And if you, look closer, it looks like a map for the subway, and there is some kind of, symbols on it. It may be alien language or some language that we don't know, but it looks like symbols to me, which would make sense since, if I'm not mistaken, we saw that symbols in the machine that, Reggie was writing on. Anyways, so here we see that maybe the timelines are going to connect with the subway, so you can travel through timelines with the subway. Maybe. Then we see Luther giving a little tap, a little punch, a little slap in Diego's arm, and you can see there is a name, a tag name in his vest, which is Fred. I think it was the first, because we know Luther was normal, and then he now has, his gorilla body again. So maybe he got his powers back, and he didn't have clothes for it, because his clothes doesn't fit. So he had to maybe steal, the clothes from some guy named Fred. Or maybe it's going to be a disguise. Okay, and then there is this scene where 5 is fighting, basically, with Diego. And Lila, this is Lila. Pay attention to her clothes and keep that in mind. This frame, I think they are going to be the bad guys of the season. Yes, they are going to be called, maybe, Jean and Jean. Why I'm saying that? Before they released the trailer, Umbrella Academy official account shared with us the first page of the script here. And I'm not going to read on it, but there is 2 people called Jean and Jean. They are doctors, basically, in the script. And they're chasing very rare objects. I think they collect some out of the timeline objects. Why I'm saying that? Because if you see in this frame, you can see Chacha's helmet. In this resetted universe, technically Chacha doesn't exist, right? So I think those guys like to collect some stuff that they are not from the timeline. Also because in the script, they show very huge interest when they see a VHS of a movie that Allison did. Because her name is in it, and it's Allison Hargreaves, and they get very intrigued about the Hargreaves. So technically, maybe Reginald didn't have children or adopt children in this universe, so they know it's from another, I'm saying universe, but actually in this timeline. So they probably know it's from another timeline, and they collect this kind of stuff. Also, Hargreaves is a very powerful name in this timeline, because as you can see in the 3rd season, every building or most of the buildings that show up in the scene, they are named Hargreaves, or they have the Hargreaves logo. So yeah, Hargreaves is a powerful name. Also, I think there is a glitch in the universe, because in the 3rd season, when Reggie was putting some code or writing a code inside the machine, he was interrupted by Allison because she killed him, and I think he didn't finish the code. So there is probably some glitches and maybe the timelines are kind of collapsing. That's why, and how those two get those items from another timeline. So maybe that's why they are collectors, because they know something is wrong, something is off, and they believe about it. Maybe. This scene, Lila and Five are getting out of the subway, and above them there is some symbols close and similar to the symbols we see in the map that Lila is touching in this scene again, and in this photo that Umbrella Academy account also posted in their social medias. So for me, it maybe is a alien language. So it can be or cannot be related to Reggie or some other people, you know, other aliens, I don't know. Also, in this scene, you can see Victor is punching someone. At first, you think it's Allison because, you know, Victor and Allison had kind of argues and fights in the third season. But if you look closer, it's very similar to Ben's outfit. So I think it's Victor fighting with Ben. I don't know why. Also in the scene, if you look, Luther is wearing a robe and they are in the mansion. The mansion looks like abandoned and kind of dusty and weird, like no one is using it for a while, or it was almost destroyed. So it makes me believe that Reggie is not living there. So maybe it's going to be a hiding spot for Reggie because we see this spaceship getting out of it. Also, just out of curiosity, this spaceship or spacecraft that, you know, you can call whatever you want, is called Minerva, and it's from the comics, actually. It belongs to Reggie and it's capable of interstellar travel, which makes me question, are we going to have interstellar travels in this season? I don't know. So I think it still belongs to Reggie, but he's not living in there anymore. Back to the robe. Luther is wearing a robe, and behind, in the back, is writing Space Boy. So I really think it makes part of the, you know, remember the strip dancer thing that I think he's going to be known as the Space Boy? Yeah, so I think that's why Luther is wearing this, because it looks like he's in his gorilla body at least, and he didn't have anything to wear in this exact moment, so he's wearing his robe. Or maybe he does have, he got out from his job of stripper, because you can see he's wearing gloves, the same gloves we see in this part. So maybe he was in his job, his siblings got, you know, picked him up, and he just wear a robe because he was, you know, needing to go super fast. Maybe that's it, but still Space Boy. Also, Luther is with the robe of Space Boy. So maybe I'm cooking here. Let me cook. I'm cooking here. Maybe Luther, you know, or he's, because he can be a stripper, he can be a dancer. That's my guess. But I saw some people saying that he's a party animator. So, you know, the guy who dresses up as, you know, clowns, you know, stuff. So maybe he's known as Space Boy and he goes to parties as an astronaut, because it would make sense, because we see the thematic of party, you know, child party, because of this ball pit scene that he's all happy, but he's not wearing any costume. So I don't know what to think, I don't know what to guess, but I still think he's going to be a dancer or a stripper. And my theory comes along with another scene that we are going to talk about soon. Then, do you remember when I said, hey, pay attention to Lila's outfit in the scene? Yeah. Then we see Lila crying with the same outfit. So first she was separating the fight between Diego and Five, and now she's crying in Five's arm. Where is Diego? Okay, look, this is just a theory. What if Diego... This makes me sad, but what if something happened to Diego? Or they think something happened to Diego? Because Five looks concerned, but we know that the siblings doesn't feel very emotional when somebody dies, as we can see with Diego reacting to Klaus.
All the stupid shit Klaus used to do. I used to think he could survive anything, and now he's dead.
I'm really, really sorry.
Me too, kid. Come on and help me wrap up your uncle in the carpet.
So, I don't know, maybe something happened to Diego, or again, they think something happens to Diego, or something will happen to Diego and they see it. That's my guess. I hope not, but that's my guess. Then in this scene, we can see Reggie is putting some device around the head of Luther, Allison, and Diego. So I really think it's Reggie helping them to get their powers back. Maybe I'm a little naive, maybe, but I really believe Reggie is not that bad. I think, yes, he's a terrible father, he doesn't know how to be a dad, but at the same time, there is some stuff that really got into my mind, and I'm going to tell you because I was cooking that for a while. And in the first season, when Reggie is talking to Klaus, he seems a little bit concerned about Luther.
He never had our best interests at heart. Look at your precious number one. Luther found all the unopened letters he'd sent you. He knows that you sent him up to the moon for nothing.
That was foolish of me. I should have burned it all.
That's your takeaway. Oh, wow. Yeah, of course it is.
Not an ideal solution, I confess. But I knew that the world would soon need him, need all of you, and I had to do what was necessary. Is he okay?
Do you care?
Everything I did, everything I put you through, it was to prepare you, all of you, for something bigger than yourselves. You never understood that.
We were just kids. Little kids.
You were never just kids. You were meant to save the world.
I think Reggie, he knew those kids, that they are not kids anymore, they were perfect to the duty of saving the world, the duty of saving the timelines. Because in the third season, Reggie helps Klaus to learn how to come back to life. Reggie didn't need to do that at all, especially because he already planned to do the stuff he did. But knowing the power of Klaus, I think Reggie killed Klaus in purpose and trained him in purpose because he knew Klaus were going to go, come back to life. And with that being said, he knew they're going to give the marigold to the machine. But I don't think Reggie was planning to kill them in this scene. I really think Reggie was going probably to kill them, but they're going to restart the world perfectly as it should be and giving the life they should have. But since Allison just, killed him, I think he wasn't able to give this life to them. Maybe I'm being too naive and, believing in Reggie's word like Klaus did in third season. But I really think there is something else. Also because Reggie in the third season, when he's talking to Five, he also says,
The desperation to see a familiar face.
I've I've seen worlds end in ways that would knock your socks off, old man.
Well, Reginald Hargreaves, he never ceased to surprise me.
That is some comfort. You know, they all run together after a while. But you never forget your first, your home, your original sin. You never stop wondering, did I do enough to save the people I loved?
Did you?
No. But I was hoping you children could help me out with that.
So I think he knows. He saw, the world ending in numerous times. Because when he is releasing the marigold into the world, in this reality the world was being ended as well. So I think, yes, maybe Reggie is a time traveler as them, and he knows that he have another Regis around the other timelines. I think that's it. It's very complex, I know. Maybe I'm overlooking, but that's what I think. Then there's this scene where Diego is with Luther, right? If you look closer, those are cuffs, like shirt cuffs. And this is weird because the only thing I can think about that wears this kind of cuffs are strippers or dancers. Remember my theory of Luther being a stripper before he goes back to the gorilla body? Yeah, so it seems like they enter in disguise in this place because in some scenes, in the future of the trailer, you can see Diego grabbing, which I think is a lady maybe because of the shoes, and throwing out the window. He still have these cuffs. And as we know, Diego is not the kind of guy who usually fights without shirt, without clothes. So it doesn't make sense. Like Diego is just like there, and out of nowhere he, takes out of, his shirt to fight and throw some punches. And why the fake cuffs? So what I think in the scene, because if you see, Luther have his gorilla body and he has a little tag. In this tag, I don't know, maybe looks like a security or, a bodyguard of the celebrity, which is the space boy. This is my theory right now, okay? The image itself is just Diego fighting shirtless with fake cuffs, and Luther with his gorilla body and a tag here. That's all. So I think they are in disguise. Being in disguise, I think, to enter there, they say, hey, I have a celebrity here. It's the space boy, the famous dancer or stripper or whatever. And they are like, oh my God, yeah? They don't know the face. They know the name, they know he's a space boy and he's known and all of that, but they don't know their, his face. So maybe they are like, okay, come in. And Luther can't do that because he have this, his gorilla body again. He's not, his normal body. It's normal for me, knowing him as gorilla, but he doesn't have his normal body anymore, so he can't, dance. So someone else has to go as the space boy, and we know Klaus is insecure right now with all this germaphobe and anxiety attacks and stuff like that. So Klaus is not the one. Ben is not going to do that. He's very, grumpy to do that. 5 is a kid, basically, so big no. And Victor doesn't look like the kind of guy who would do that, because he's more shy, he's more centered, not very outgoing and stuff. So we have Diego who can do the job. So I think Diego goes as the famous space boy, and maybe Luther is just like his security or something like that, or he's like his agent. So that's why he has a tag, and that's why maybe Diego was, trying to dance, because we know Diego likes to dance. We know Diego is a dancer. We see that in the first season, and we see that again in the third season when he's dreaming about everybody dancing, because it is what makes him happy. So maybe Diego was, dancing as he does, but not in a sexy way, because he doesn't know how to dance in a sexy way. And that's when the disguise just fall off. Or maybe he does know how to, sexy dance, but that disguise just, falls somehow. And that's when they have to fight. That's why he's shirtless, because he was in the middle of the disguise, So that's what I think, because it doesn't make sense, the handcuffs. And again, it kind of makes sense with the theory of Luther being a stripper and being known as it. That's why I thought of those things. Also the emoji of the dancing boy. That's what I'm thinking. So this scene, okay, I saw this theory going around, and I fully agreed that maybe the siblings have their powers upgraded. Why I'm saying that? Because do you remember that Five's portal, his blinks are always blue, and Victor's powers were blue as well, and Ben's portal for the horror was in the front, not in the back. So I think the siblings had an upgrade. Each one of them had an upgrade. And especially because Victor's powers remembers me a lot of Harlan's powers, because if I'm not mistaken, Harlan's powers were like orangey, reddish, kind of, even kind of yellowish. So I think it's the power of Harlan upgraded, in Victor. And even Allison had her eyes yellowish, reddish when she had a little bit of Harlan's power. So I think they will have upgrades. Also, this tattoo over here is a reference of a cover of a comic called You Look Like Death. It's a solo comic of Klaus from Umbrella Academy. It's a Tales of Umbrella Academy. And this is the same as this cover. So people are saying the tattoo belongs to Klaus, which makes sense, but I don't know, this hand doesn't looks like Klaus's hand, maybe I'm wrong, okay, but I don't think it's Klaus' hand, but maybe it's just a Easter egg, or maybe it is Klaus' hand. I'm not taking out this possibility, but I really think it's not Klaus' hand. I may be wrong, but I don't know. But also they say that because of the beads, those, that you can see here, but I don't know, it's not the same color. I may be wrong, because you can change bracelets easy, so maybe it's Klaus' hand, but it doesn't look like, for me it looks like a different person's hand. So maybe it's just an Easter egg, or maybe something else. I don't know. I need to think about it a little bit more. Okay, this hand holding another hand. This is my theory. I think it's Luther's hand with the marigold around, everything around, and maybe is Sloane. I think it's Luther rescuing Sloane, and I think that just because of the fingerless gloves, and because it kind of looks like a male hand, so I think it's Luther, and the other looks like a female hand, so I think it's Luther and Sloane. I hope so, because I would love to see Sloane as well again, because she was Luther's, love, and it would be super cute. This scene is... Oh... Okay, this scene, I just realized something. This scene is Reggie holding a gun, right? Reggie's holding a gun because someone entered his house, not the Hargreaves mansion, because we know it's abandoned in this reality. But it looks like another mansion, the same as this one. So I think Reggie is living here or working here. So the siblings goes there, especially Diego and Luther. In this scene, Luther have a vest and a kind of bluish, I don't know, shirt. And if you look closer, is the same outfit this person here is wearing. So I think it's Luther. Luther probably was, knocking out some security guards from dear old dad new house, and dear old dad comes with a gun, to, be sure everything's okay. And then is when he sees Luther and everybody, maybe everybody, or just Luther and Diego, I don't know. But I think, yes, I think this is Luther. And in this scene, some people are saying that they are dead because, remember when Klaus and Luther were dead and they go to...
The void is my house. It might be a bouncy house, but it's mine.
Yeah, so people are saying this scene is from the void. So maybe it is, maybe people are dead, but I don't know, because you see, this is going to be the, the heaven for some people, as Klaus explained it. But we know it's not Luther's, because Luther's heaven is watch documentaries about the space, and while he's, drinking a beer and eating a pizza with pineapple on it.
Or odder still, does it have a shape other than the one we give it?
Wow. Makes you feel tiny, huh?
Why would you put pineapple on a pizza?
So we know it's not Luther's heaven, but also we have this scene that was presented in To Doom Live from last year. It's a very, small clip of Ben and Five talking while it seems like they are in a, kids kind of park while they are drinking. So it really reminds me of the scene of Luther and Klaus, but I don't think they are actually in the void. I think maybe they're just in a party, like maybe, I don't know, Diego's children party or something like that. I don't know, maybe. Or someone else's party, or maybe they are dead and they are in the void. I'm not considering stuff. I'm considering everything because it's umbrella and it's very confusing. So what do you think? And in this scene, we see, again, Ben doesn't have his portal in the front, he have his portal in the back. And Ben is grabbing a soldier and throwing out. I was really hoping it was, Vietnam soldier, but it seems it's not. It's more like new kind of outfit for soldier, not old like the Vietnam and stuff like that. Because I was comparing, Dave's outfit with this soldier's outfit, because I was super hoping so much that, Dave is going to be back because it's Dave. But I think Ben is attacking soldiers because I don't know why, but he is. And maybe that's why he was arrested in the first place, or maybe not. We don't know. I don't know. Or maybe it makes part of the rescue mission. Maybe they're going to rescue Sloane. Maybe she is kidnapped by the army. I don't know. Maybe. I'm throwing theories out because it's Umbrella Academy. It's hard to say. So yeah, I was hoping. But I have a theory about Dave. So my theory about Dave, maybe I'm wrong, okay? I am hopefully that I'm not wrong because I really want to see Dave. But it always was odd to me why and how Dave died, okay? So I was thinking and overthinking about it because it doesn't make sense. It doesn't look like Dave was shot in the chest, from the front. It looks like he was shot by his back. So I think maybe someone from the commission killed Dave because they needed Klaus to go back to 2019 in the first season, which he wouldn't go because he has Dave. So as we know, usually the commission doesn't care about killing one single person, one innocent person. We see that with 5 in the first season also tried to track who he needed to kill to prevent the end of the world.
It's tenuous, but promising.
Who are you talking to? What is all this?
It's a probability map
Probability of what?
of whose death could save the world. I've narrowed it down to 4.
Are you saying one of these 4 people causes the apocalypse?
No, I'm saying that their death might prevent it.
Milton Green. So is he a terrorist or something?
I believe he is a gardener.
You can't be serious. Wait, this is madness, 5. Where'd you get that?
From Dad's room. I think he used it to shoot a rhinoceros. It's similar to the model I used at work. Nice shoulder fit and highly reliable.
But you can't. This guy, Milton, is just an innocent man.
It's basic math. His death could potentially save the lives of billions. If I did nothing, he'd be dead in 4 days anyway. The apocalypse won't spare anyone.
We don't do this kind of thing.
We are not doing anything. I am.
In this, even Luther was like, what? You're going to kill an innocent person? Yeah, that's how commission works. So, they knew someone was in 1968 in the Vietnam because Hazel and Chacha here, they get a message.
Violation code 6874A, unauthorized round trip travel in 1968. Explanation required.
Shit, junkie. The hell does he think this is, a travel agency? Damn it, Hazel.
I know, if we don't get that case back soon, we're screwed.
So they knew something was off, so maybe someone from the commission went to kill Dave and make Klaus come back. And yeah, I think that's it, because commission knew something was off, as we know. So we know Hazel and Chacha couldn't do that because they didn't have a briefcase. So it was someone else from the commission. And talking to someone on my Instagram, it makes me realize, because this person has a very interesting theory about Lila being the one killing Dave. And it makes sense if you think. Maybe they didn't plan that in the first, you know, the producers and all. Maybe it wasn't supposed to be Lila, because Lila was introduced in the second season. But think about that. Lila doesn't know Dave. Lila at the time didn't know Klaus, and Lila was working for the commission. So maybe she was working and she was the one who killed Dave, so Klaus could come back. And maybe in this scene, actually it's a photo. In this photo, Klaus discovers that Lila was the one who killed Dave, and he is very, very sad. I don't think Klaus is going to be aggressive. Maybe he's going to be more like disappointed and sad, and maybe a little bit angry, but not aggressive. And that's why Diego and Luther are doing this face as well, because if Klaus was being aggressive just because, I'm pretty sure Diego was going to separate, because he wouldn't let Klaus talk to Lila like that. So I think it's when Klaus discovers that Lila actually killed Dave, and he's asking stuff for her, like, or, you know, being like, how dare you? But she didn't know Klaus. She probably didn't see Klaus. She wouldn't recognize. She would think just, you know, it was just another service. Just like 5 thought, you know, when the handler made 5 kill Lila's parents. So maybe it's the same situation, which was going to be ironic because it happened to Lila, and Lila was kind of doing the same to someone else and she never realized. I think it would be a very good plot. So I'm hoping that, and at the same time I hope to see Dave alive and well in the future, or in this universe. Another thing people are saying is intriguing me is that Klaus doesn't have his dog tags anymore, and we know that he carried those dog tags from Dave 3 fully seasons. I know some people say that in the 3rd season Klaus doesn't talk about Dave at all, but he's always with the dog tags, and when he dies before he returns, the first thing he checks is the dog tags. And just now I realized that maybe he's whispering Dave here. I really hope like Dave does exist like Raymond in this year, or maybe he finds out that Dave doesn't exist in this reality and he's very, very disappointed because dear old dad didn't finish the code from the machine. So yeah, maybe he just take out the dog tags. As we know, Dave was very relevant to Klaus in all 3 seasons, even though the 3rd season he doesn't mention Dave as much or look for Dave because he was there just a couple of days after knowing about the Koga Blitz, so it's kind of hard. But in his death scene, when he's, you know, getting back, he looks for his dog tags and he whispers Dave, so Dave is mentioned and we know it's important to Klaus. So I really hope they don't just forget about Dave, you know, and just let it be, because I need closure. I love those two too much. I need to see more Dave. I need to see more interactions. So yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. Another thing that I was thinking is just throwing ideas. Maybe Luther and Diego goes to their dear old dad to maybe get Allison, because Allison is the only one who doesn't spawn with the siblings in the end of the 3rd season. She's already in her house with Raymond and Claire, and all the other siblings are trapped in the elevator where once was the hotel. So maybe Allison is with their old dad, or they are trying to find Allison. That's why they go to their old dad to get information as well. I don't know. Because in the scene of the Hargreaves mansion, we don't see Allison. She's the only one who is not in the frame. Maybe she was there, but it doesn't show in this clip. But she was the only one that were not there. So that's a little sus. And then dear old dad helps them to get their powers back because of that, because they're going to rescue someone else. Also, my Dave here just said maybe they're going to rescue Abigail, I don't know how to say that. Abby, I'm going to call her Abby, you know, Reggie's lover, wife, woman, alien, I don't know. So maybe they're going to rescue her, but at the same time I think this is her. It looks like her, I don't know, but younger, or they're going to, I don't know. That's it. What do you think, guys? I'm just throwing ideas in things. So what do you think? So yeah, that's the video. That's the entire video. If you like, leave a like, comment, let me know your theories, let me know your favorite theories, if you like any theory from my little beautiful head, and yeah, comment below, let me know, and I see you in the next one. Bye bye.